Hi, Bat here for RPG a Day, Day 31. Share why you took part in an RPG a Day. Well, this is Grim. I showed him in a video.
Hello.
Yeah, obviously, just fun. I mean, it's interesting to talk about role playing. It's interesting to see what people say. Yes, it is. It's interesting to get new ideas and to be inspired by other people. And a little bit of me as well was playing around with the idea of doing some sort of psychology study, a content analysis on the things that people have said, and maybe one day someone will actually come back to these RPG days and actually look at this as particular notes each year, and they can sort of see trends over time. So I think this is also useful in the fact that it's a cultural, historical overview of the hobby. There's lots of different people taking part, as well as lots of different people from different cultures. So thankfully we've got translation abilities because that's made things a lot easier. And I think overall the sort of things that people come up with, although you end up with very similar answers when you look at it across sort of a bell curve, you start to see the outlying answers, and some of them are particularly interesting. There's a lot of like new direction angles on there that you wouldn't have come across, and considering how many sort of thousands of players I've spoken to over the time, it's still nice to be surprised and to be shocked a little bit, generally in a positive way. And of course, that leads back to the main reason why I started taking interest in this in the first place. Having worked at a games company and actually managed a forum, and some of the back and forth arguments that took place between the players and between the players and the company, and the times that I didn't exactly do a good job of that myself, the idea of getting back involved in forums is something that I've avoided doing because it's generally a time sink. Whereas RPG a Day, the positivity generally shines through, and the majority of answers you're getting are either straightforward and simple, or there's sort of layers to it. And the positivity overall sort of seems to really inspire people to stay on track and stay focused. And it also invites, the alternate questions part is quite good as well, because it invites openness. The questions, the way they're actually written, if you take them at a surface level, initial gut reaction, you may think, well, yeah, it's not really the question for me. But then when you start seeing what other people come up with, that can kind of make you realize, oh, I hadn't considered it from that initial angle. Maybe I should have thought about it more. Not a criticism of anybody else, because there's a few questions that I nearly didn't answer, and I had that gut reaction a couple of times. But in the end, I've actually ended up answering every one of the main questions, and maybe I'll answer some of the alternative questions another day or save for another year. So yeah, it's a combination of things. But of course, the role play as a hobby and the connectiveness between the communities, that's pretty impressive. And I think it stands out as being a little bit different than everything else.